Israeli forces have carried out several simultaneous explosions in the Jenin refugee camp in the occupied West Bank. 20 homes in one neighbourhood have been destroyed in the attack. Israel has been conducting a major military assault on the occupied West Bank for a second week now, and Jenin has been the focal point. At least 27 Palestinians have been killed so far. Ahmed Tobasi is a resident in Jenin camp. He joins us from there. So as I mentioned, 20 homes have been destroyed. Where is that leaving life for residents of Jenin?
Thank you for having me. For sure, this is only today. The Israeli army invaded Jenin camp almost before 12 days. And through all that time until now, they have been demolishing houses, streets, burning houses. But today, it's only 1 square of the neighborhood. They destroy a 20 house. But for sure, now we see that most of the houses in Jenin camp are not really livable anymore. But that's the plan of the Israeli army, to turn and make Jenin camp not anymore look like a camp. And this is for sure, it's a very big, long plan that they have been talking about. But we never imagined this is going to happen in this way. Israeli army occupation.
Let me jump in here and give you the line that we're hearing from the Israeli side. They're saying they're going after what they're calling terrorist infrastructure. From what you've been able to see as a Jenin resident, what are the buildings that are being destroyed?
I'm telling you, I born in Jenin camp, I grew up in Jenin camp, I lived my whole life in Jenin camp, and I know that the Israeli army do not need any excuse to destroy our houses and displace us. This is a very long, old plan by the Israeli army, especially for the camps, because they want to kill and make the Palestinian case die.
Have you personally seen families displaced because their houses have been blown up in this assault?
I mean, we already, from the first day, the Israeli army came and they said all the residents have to go out because we're going to bomb some houses. But we didn't expect this. We didn't expect this amount. So the plan is clear. They want to work on the idea of refugees. They don't want to hear a refugee from Palestine. The whole plan is about to make the Palestinian case forgotten, kill it, make it die, and not talking about anymore the right of return, the refugees of Palestine. So it's not about terrorists. This is normal residents, people who lives. And you know, when you talk about one house, it's not really one family living there. In Jenin camp, you find one house with 4 families, 3 families. So I'm telling you, 15,000 residents in Jenin camp. Now we are outside, 6,000 in Jenin city, and the other thousands displaced all over the villages in Jenin. So terrorists always
what's happening to them?
What's
happening to these thousands of people? Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand Jenin camp is sealed right now. Is that not the case? Nobody can go in or go out. So if your home gets destroyed and you're saying thousands of people are displaced, where do they go?
And that's the question. That's the question. What is the plan? Where are these people going to go? Today, an old man, my neighbor, he came, he entered between the houses to check his house, and an Israeli sniper killed him. So sometimes people try to sneak in, to have some clothes, some equipment, something from their houses, some papers. But for sure, any success person to sneak in, he come back with a big disappointment, saying there is no more anymore a camp like what we imagine. So that's the question for the Israeli occupation. That's the question for UN. That's the question for the Palestinian Authority. All these families, where they will end, how they're going to live, who's going to provide them a new houses or a new places. Many children without schools, many injured people. They cannot even go to the hospitals. So if you start this kind of operation, who's the responsible after this result? Who's going to take care of these people?
All right, thank you for relaying your perspective and experience of what's happening there, Ahmed Tobasi from Jenin.
Thank you.
Hamda Salhout joins us live from Amman. She's there because the Israeli government and Palestinian Authority have banned Al Jazeera from reporting inside Israel and in the occupied West Bank. And Hamda, you may have heard there my interview with a Jenin resident talking about people, thousands of people being displaced because homes are being destroyed. What are Israeli officials saying about that?
Well, let's begin with when this raid started nearly 2 weeks ago. The Israeli military had forcibly evacuated and displaced thousands of Palestinians. That number stands at around 15,000 now, and they were actually told to get out from loudspeakers on drones and on military vehicles. But a day later, the Israeli government spokesperson denied this, saying that they did not tell anyone to leave when the Israeli army was seen on the ground telling people to get out of their homes or they would be killed. So in this area specifically, you're looking at a densely populated refugee camp where, as your guest was saying, these are apartment buildings. These are not just single family homes. So they could be 5, 6, 7 floors with multiple apartments, multiple family homes that have now been detonated. And I want to also note these are similar scenes to what we saw in northern Gaza throughout the war. If it wasn't an airstrike from above, it was large scale detonations from the ground. But the Israeli army never said anything about the civilians in the area, never really said anything about their homes or after the people would come back. And that's what's happening in Jenin. But these explosions have also impacted nearby hospitals. We understand a mosque has also been destroyed as part of this large scale attack. But the hospitals have also been affected. They've been damaged and their water supply has been almost cut off. And the hospitals are reeling because they can't even get medical supplies in because of the many checkpoints that have been set up all across the occupied West Bank as part of this raid.
All right, Hamda Salhout there. Thank you so much for reporting on that situation from Amman in Jordan.